Hey there, chatters, I'm Matt.
And I'm Kat, and welcome to the Crime Chat. I'm your forensic femme fatale. Natalie is your true crime-addict connoisseur.
We're just two normal girls obsessed with dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
So here's your disclaimer, chatters. The following Crime Chat contains adult content and will have descriptions of violence, heartbreaking, crazy, if I could say crazy without being sued, scenarios today. So your listener discretion is advised.
Perfect. We've checked all the boxes.
Yes, all of them, all the things.
So, you've been warned. Now, before we get into today's Crime Chat, Kat, what have you been up to since the last time I spoke to you, which was like a hot minute ago?
Yeah, just a couple days ago. So, a while back, I don't know if you remember, I told you I started watching Once Upon a Time after we did the Disney stuff, right?
Yeah. You didn't like it back then, though. I remember you were like,
No, I do. I do like it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like one of my put it in the background and playing around on my phone kind of other things. But I did find myself last night because Chris was at work. He was on shift last night, so I wasn't home. And I was just relaxing, winding down. I had to rewind it a couple times because I distracted myself. I was like, wait a minute. Something important is going on. I need to pay more attention. But I'm at the part, I don't even know what season I'm in. I'm just kind of like, I'll go back to it when I don't know what else to put on, not watching something that Chris is waiting to see too kind of thing. So I'll just kind of wait. And
You're so good. You're so good. I would totally watch the whole thing.
Although I will say that I was watching Once Upon a Time and he's like, oh, what's this show? Oh, I wanted to see that. And I'm just like, no, you can't have this one. But I sent you I can't remember when it said it was coming out, a documentary on the making of Stranger Things.
Awesome.
Netflix is going to push that out. So I'm sure it's going to have like a lot of viewers.
Yeah.
Kind of nerdy like that. I like to see behind the scenes, figure out what's going on. Really, other than that, I mean, that's kind of it. We haven't really, it's only been a couple days. So, but what about you?
The only thing I started in the last couple of days is I revisited my Medieval Dynasty game.
Yay!
Okay, so we all know that I am Red Dead Redemption junkie at this point. So the next Red Dead Redemption is coming out in 2030.
Right.
I'm not going to play the same game till then. No. So, they're going to do updates, but, I need a good RPG that is very,
real player game?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, something that is monotonous over and over. I love those games, like Plant a Good Garden. I could just do a video game about planting it. Mind you, all this shit started when that goddamn game, We Harvest Shadows, came out, and I wanted to get super prepared to play it, and it's not coming out for another year. So, thank you. I'm still waiting for it. We're all still waiting for it, but the developer is keeping us updated.
It's coming out this year, though, right?
Yeah, next year.
You're just waiting to harvest your shadows.
And he's got he's done so much, and I can't wait, but I don't know. So that's it. Nothing else interesting.
Wow. All right. Oh, it's 80 degrees here today.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You got Florida temperature out there.
Yeah. I walked out to go to the store earlier today, and I was like, ugh, it's sticky. But we're under a lake wind advisory, too, with gusts up to 35 miles an hour. And I was like, oh, dang. Get blown away.
All right. Well, you asked me to do an intro on personality disorders.
Yeah.
So I pulled together an intro with a surprise at the end. So don't look. Ooh. There is no scrolling. Do not scroll. Okay.
Nope. I haven't looked.
Okay. So let's get started on what I pieced together here. When you hear the words personality disorder, people tend to think that it just means someone who's difficult or toxic or a nightmare to deal with. That is not true.
Oh.
Okay. And it's not that simple either. So a personality disorder is a long-term mental health disorder. It's a condition that people have.
Right.
And it affects the way a person thinks, the way they feel, the way they behave, the way they connect with other people. Yes. These are not mood swings. They're not having bad days. They're deeply set patterns that usually begin in the earlier teen years into adulthood. And they tend to stick around. So it kind of shapes the way your brain processes information.
Well, especially since it gets to that full development. If it starts in your teen years, you get to that fully developed brain, then that's all. That's what it knows. That's what it's grown into.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So unlike anxiety or depression, which can come and go, personality disorders shape the person's identity. It even comes down to the way they handle stress, the way they look at other people, the way they respond to rejection, control, authority, conflict. Like everything is impacted because their brain is functioning differently.
So relevant right now.
I know. So here's the hard truth. Most people with personality disorders don't think there's anything wrong with them.
Of course.
To them, their reactions feel normal. Everyone else is the problem. And sometimes they're right. So clinicians diagnose personality disorders using a criteria from the DSM-5, which is the main diagnostic manual used in psychiatry.
Right.
To qualify, these patterns must be rigid, long-lasting, presents across many, many years of a person's lifespan, and serious enough to cause harm or dysfunction. So, like not everything is going to qualify as a personality disorder.
Sure.
It could just be bad behavior, which they also can't explain by someone's using drugs, alcohol, or brain injury, or any other medical condition. Those things can contribute to a symptom, but it's not necessarily the cause of why a person is going through a personality disorder.
Right. And you might get into it, but I've done a little bit of research on borderline personality disorder and how it typically does go hand in hand with other diagnoses. So anxiety, PTSD, paranoia, those kind of things, which can also lead to drug and alcohol abuse. And so it's like they're kind of not a cause of, is my understanding of it, but a symptom or kind of a side effect of something like that.
I mean, you can go down a rabbit hole with this. So
it's going to come up, obviously, in the story that we're doing today. So it's just some general knowledge for background purposes.
Good. So, personality disorders are grouped in 3 different clusters. Cluster A includes disorders marked by odd or suspicious behavior. Cluster B includes dramatic, emotional, or impulsive behavior. And Cluster C includes anxious or fearful behavior. Now, the causes aren't one simple thing. Research points to a mix of genetics, brain development, early childhood experiences, trauma, neglect, learned behavior. Symptoms often get worse under stress, especially when someone feels rejected, threatened, or out of control. Now, let's talk about treatment, because this part really matters.
Sure.
There's no quick fix for personality disorders. There's no pill that cures everything. The most effective treatment is long-term therapy. Not weeks, not months, often over years, over a person's lifespan.
Right.
Some of the most common therapies include cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps challenge disordered thinking. Another one is dialectical behavior therapy, which focuses on emotional control and impulse regulation. Another one is schema therapy, which targets deeply rooted beliefs formed in childhood. And another one is the psychodynamic therapy, which explores long-standing patterns and past experiences. Okay, so medication can be helpful, but only for symptoms, not the disorder itself. Doctors may prescribe antidepressants, mood stabilizers, or low-dose antipsychotics to help with anxiety, mood swings, aggression, or disordered thinking. Treatment works best when therapy and medication are combined, obviously.
Sure.
But here's the uncomfortable reality. Progress requires insight, and insight is often the missing piece.
Like awareness, like being cognitively aware of certain behaviors or impulses are a response to this type of disorder. So acknowledging first, right? Right. It's like the 7 stages of grief. You acknowledge, accept, deny, accept.
So in true crime, personality disorders come up a lot, especially in cluster B disorders. Some offenders have documented diagnoses. Others show patterns that strongly align them to a known criteria. But it's important to say this clearly. Having a personality disorder does not make someone violent, and having one does not excuse criminal behavior.
Sure.
That said, untreated personality disorders, especially those involving impulsivity, lack of empathy, manipulation, and extreme emotional instability, can increase the risk of harmful behavior to oneself or others. Famous criminal cases where personality disorders were diagnosed, strongly documented, included Ted Bundy, who was linked to antisocial personality disorder, John Wayne Gacy, who was diagnosed with antisocial traits, Aline Wuornos, we never did her.
I know.
What the hell?
We talked about her during our female serial killer series.
How did we not cover her in our entire season, last season?
I know.
Okay, we got to do that. All right. She was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. Mm-hmm. And then Jeffrey Dahmer diagnosed with multiple personality disorders, including borderline and schizotypical traits. So these cases are extreme, of course.
Sure.
They're not the norm, but they show how dangerous untreated symptoms can become, and when mixed with trauma, substance abuse, and lack of accountability, how far it can go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, here's the part that usually surprises people. Personality disorders don't only show up in prisons and courtrooms.
Gasp.
Many successful and famous people have publicly shared the diagnosis and have led or still lead very productive lives. So, here's a short list of a couple. Marsha Linehan. She is an American psychiatrist and researcher. Mm-hmm. She's best known for creating the dialectical behavior therapy, which we went over before, or the DBT, one of the most effective treatments ever developed. Pete Davidson, who publicly discussed his borderline personality disorder diagnosis, that happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Another one, Brandon Marshall, former NFL player, also diagnosed with BPD. And then Courtney Love, who has spoken openly about her diagnosis.
Yeah, yeah.
So others have spoken about having strong personality disorder traits while still functioning at high levels, often in creative work or leadership or high pressure fields. Like I can see this disorder working very well in that way. Okay. If you're not suffering from like anxiety or breakdowns, I can see like the manic sense of it being like you're all in, you're this and that, and then having an incredible low.
Right.
Like I can see
like
that.
Like a crash,
right?
Yeah.
So this matters because personality disorders are not moral failures. They're mental health conditions. And with treatment, structure, and accountability, many people manage them successfully. Mm-hmm. Understanding personality disorders doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior. It means explaining patterns. Mm-hmm. And in true crime, patterns is everything. Because when you understand how someone thinks, reacts, and relates to the world, you get closer to understanding what went wrong. And sometimes it can be used to even prevent bad stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So, my little surprise. So, chatters, I found a short quiz for Kat to take. Okay, so before anybody panics, no, this is not a test. Relax. Okay. It's only a screening tool. It is not a medical intervention. And I call it, this is not a diagnosis quiz, okay?
Great.
This is going to be cute. It's very light, but it's funny. Okay, so before we start, important disclaimer time. This is not a diagnosis. This is not a medical evaluation. And this is definitely not something you should use to diagnose your ex, your coworker, or, that family member that you tend to avoid.
Oh, yeah.
What this is, it's a screening test, and think of it like a mental health smoke detector. It doesn't tell you where the fire is. It just tells you like, hey, you may not want to ignore the smoke.
What happens if you forget to replace the batteries? Is this the kind of thing
It's true. Now, this quiz is designed for 1, self-reflection, 2, education, and 3, to start conversations. So it's kind of an open-ended quiz. Okay. But it is definitely not for diagnosing others or winning arguments. Just to put that clear, okay? So, all right. Are you ready, Kat?
Sure.
All right. Here is how to answer. There's a scale. So 0 would mean not at all. 1 would mean sometimes. 2 would mean often. And 3 means almost always. Okay. Got that? Mm-hmm. All right. Here's the questions. My emotions can go from calm to full chaos faster than I can explain why I'm upset.
0.
Okay, let's put your answer there. All right. Next one. My relationships tend to be intense, messy, or end dramatically, even when they have a great start.
You have to say sometimes, because sometimes you just never know where they go.
True. It could be the other person, too. All right. So, next one. Rejection or criticism feels deeply personal, even when it probably shouldn't.
Depends on how you're rejected.
Okay. So, you want to do a 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, rejection can be personal.
True.
So, the story I submitted for publication was rejected. Mm-hmm. but it wasn't, I didn't take it personally.
Okay, so sometimes.
So, I mean, I think it depends on how the rejection is presented to you.
Right.
Is one of them, do I read into things too much? Yes, almost always.
Yeah, but that's not like a disorder. That's just, Okay, next one. When I'm emotional, I act first and think later. Texts, money, decisions, regret.
No, 0. Mm-mm.
Last one. I've been told I'm too much, dramatic, or even hard to deal with more than once.
Again, depends on who's saying it.
So 1?
Am I the problem? Yeah, 1.
See, right there, I would go full 3. Always. No, the 1, we'll put 1. For me, if I was taking a test. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that concludes our test, Kat. So here's the scoring. You scored a solid 3.
Ooh.
All right. If your points add up between 0 and 4, you are very little concerned to have a personality disorder. So you're in the clear.
Okay,
you're good. You're healthy. You're good. All right? So anybody who would score 5 to 8 would show some personality traits that would be, concerning. Anybody scoring from 9 to 12 has elevated traits worth reflecting on. And just so you know, this test has actually 10 questions, or 15 questions. That's why it goes up so high.
Okay.
And I can post the full quiz on our Patreon, so you guys can take it if you want.
Yeah.
But if you score 13 to 15, this is a strong signal to get like some help, So you're a little all over the place. But important note, a high score does not mean that you have a personality disorder, however. It just means that your brain has developed long-standing patterns. Mm-hmm. And that's what a personality disorder basically is, long-standing patterns. So that's my intro and my test, so we're good. Kat is not a psychopath. Oh, yay! Well. She has one personality. That's it, just one.
Well, it just reminds me of when I used to lead a team when I was in the military. And one of the things I used to say is, you can only have one feeling. If you have more than one feeling, it's going to get hurt.
Right.
So suck it up, Buttercup.
Right.
That one feeling needs to be passion for what you do, or else you don't belong here.
Right.
Maybe that's a hard-ass look at it, but that's also
it.
We don't have time for drama.
Right.
When
you should run like one of those boot camps. Why not?
I'm not qualified.
Like a writer's boot camp. It could be called Suck Up Buttercup.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up, Buttercup boot camp.
Boot camp for Buttercup.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that intro. Help set this up because we are going to be talking about a specific convicted murderer with a couple of personality disorders.
Okay. Ooh.
So, some crimes are hard to handle and even harder to explain. This case is one of those, and it is a chatter request. So thank you, Chrissy, for requesting this one. But my gosh, what a doozy.
Is that our own Chrissy Cat?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So, did you see my little demon in the background?
What demon in the background?
I turned our logo into a demon.
Oh my God, I just noticed it. Yes, that's so oh my God, that's so cool.
Because we're talking about the demons of Diane Downs today. A little alliteration, too. Now, whether or not you believe demons are folklore or reality, they are said to exploit moments of intense fear, trauma, or profound inner wounds. And in doing so, this can create vulnerabilities for such influences to exist, leading to destruction and violence. So in 1984, Diane Downs was convicted for murdering her daughter and attempting to murder her 2 other children near Springfield, Oregon on May 19, 1983. Denying her involvement to this day, Diane's demons still appear, so let's get into it. And you've heard of this story before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
I
can't wait for you to go into a deep dive on this, I watched a documentary on her years ago, but I remember she stuck out in my head because she is diabolical.
Yeah. I mean, you can just see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
You can see it like our little Crime Chat logo. The eyes, the glowing eyes.
Kind of like this logo.
Side note, I did it on Canva AI. I took our logo and I told it to use this picture and create it demon-like. And it showed up with that.
I think this looks great.
Oh, thanks. It's like, All right, so Elizabeth Diane Fredrickson was born August 7th, 1955 in Phoenix to Wesley and Willadine Fredrickson. Diane had cross feelings about her childhood, specifically pointed towards her father. He allegedly had a certain hold over her mother, and she felt his disciplinary parenting left a very sour taste in her mouth. She was quoted later saying, "He spent way too much time with my mom, and my mom spent no time with me."
Oh, I thought he was like physically abusive, so she was jealous of their relationship?
Well, coming up, that's next.
Oh, okay.
So the Fredrickson home held strict conservative values, which prevented Diane from wearing fashionable clothing, makeup, and this unfortunately led to her also being bullied in school. And as we know, being raised in environments like this, they can have a negative response. That, rebellious teenager came out. So by the time she was 14, she rebelled a lot. In court, during her trial, Diane testified that her father sexually abused her when she was a child. However, later she recanted her statements, and both of her parents had denied any of this actually happened. Despite her parents' disapproval, Diane dated her future husband, Steve Downs, when she graduated from Moon Valley High School. And she continued her relationship with Steve as she attended the Pacific Coast Baptist College in Orange, California. However, Diane was expelled for promiscuous behavior only after a year. And then she returned to Arizona to live with her parents once again.
Oh my God. Okay.
I don't know if it was like a selling sex or she just, I don't know. That's all I got was quote unquote promiscuous behavior. So things didn't get any better once Diane got back to Arizona. She allegedly ran away from home and eloped with Steve. She later said, quote, "I did not marry Steve for love. I married Steve to get out of the family," end quote. Like she had nowhere to go.
She's got some issues, yeah.
Diane and Steve married on November 13th, 1973, and by this time, Steve had enlisted in the U.S. Navy. By 1976, they had two daughters, Christy Ann, born in 1974, and Cheryl, born in 1976. When Diane was pregnant for the third time, she said she was misinformed about the fetus growing and decided to terminate the pregnancy. She was quoted saying, "I was led to believe that a 6-week fetus is nothing more than mucus."
Oh, God.
Now, she learned more about this later. She went to an anti-abortion booth at a local fair where she felt that she needed to make some amends for what she had done.
Okay.
However, by this time, Steve had a vasectomy. Instead of going, the adoption route or even talking to her husband about what they should do, Diane decided to seduce a friend, Mark Sager, who would become the biological father of her third child, fourth pregnancy.
Oh, my God.
Stephen Daniel, he goes by the name Danny, he was born in 1979. And it's not quite known when Diane had told Steve about her affair, but with the extramarital affair and frequent arguments over infidelities and financial issues, they did divorce in 1980. Steve later testified that Diane treated her children like crap and lacked any maternal instincts.
Wow.
I mean, think about it. I don't know. Mom was not really around in her life. Did she have like a good kind of sense of what a mom should be?
I don't think that really. I think if you're mean, there's another level. Like, you don't have to have a perfect upbringing to have sympathy.
True.
If you have zero sympathy, zero empathy, you're a problem. And it doesn't matter if you come from the perfect family. And honestly, her opinion of her family, it seems like she's a hot mess. So I'm going to take her opinion of her parents very low.
Okay.
And just think that they probably lived a straight life. Maybe they were a little hard and strict.
Yeah.
But is her opinion going to hold any weight about what... I mean,
what a mother should do.
Right. So far, she hasn't failed every little test here. So her calling somebody a bad something isn't really going to hold a lot of weight right now. I don't know.
Yeah. With this, Diane became a surrogate mother in 1981.
Oh.
Despite failing 2 separate psychiatric tests that indicated there were signs of psychosis. The baby girl named Jennifer, she was born May 8th, 1982. Now, Steve later said, quote, Diane forbade everything to her children. If Danny demanded a little attention, she rejected him.
Oh my
But the
God.
worst was when one day I caught Cheryl jumping on her bed, and I told her that it was not allowed. I made her sit down and think about what she had done. Cheryl remained calm while looking up and asked, "Is there a gun here?" I replied that no, and the reason for this question, to which she told me, was, "I want to kill me. My mom says I'm bad."
Oh my God. Oh, you just gave me chills. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, oh, damn. Okay. Now, that might have been a huge red flag because on May 19th, 1983, Diane drove her 3 children. All of them in the car had been shot. She drove her and her children to Mackenzie Williamette Hospital in Springfield, Oregon. Diane was shot in the left arm. 8-year-old Christiane suffered a disabling stroke after being shot. 3-year-old Danny was paralyzed from the waist down. And 7-year-old Cheryl passed away from her wounds.
Oh my God.
I just thought about this. It didn't make a connection until just now.
What?
Cheryl's the only one that died, and Cheryl was the one jumping on the bed where she said, "I want to kill me. My mom thinks that I'm bad." And she was the one that actually passed. Oh, God.
Oh my God.
So when speaking to investigators and hospital staff, Diane said that she was carjacked by a stranger who shot them all. She said she was driving home from a friend's house and decided to take the scenic route on a rural road to go home. This was around 10 p.m. She said all of her children were asleep in the car when she saw a man in the road who she described as a bushy-haired stranger. The man demanded she give him her car keys, and when she refused, they got into a physical altercation, which led to her being shot in the left arm. Then he opened fire on the car, shooting all 3 children. Diane said she faked throwing her keys into the bushes, so when he went to go look for them, she got back in the car and sped to the hospital, reportedly told an ER nurse that, quote, "Somebody just shot my 3 kids," end quote.
Oh my God.
But police and hospital staff were suspicious from the get-go because Diane's behavior did not quite align with someone who just went through such a traumatic event. She was just too calm, and she also apparently made some highly inappropriate comments to the police and hospital employees. Their suspicions grew when she, after arriving to the hospital, called a man, Robert Knickerbocker, a married man, a former coworker in Arizona, and her boyfriend, who she was having an affair with.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Robert had told police that Diane stalked him and that she seemed to be willing to kill his wife so Diane could have Robert all to herself. Robert said that he was relieved when she left for Oregon. She was in Arizona at the time, left for Oregon. He was able to reconcile with his wife. And in a telephone recorded conversation, this is going to come up later, Diane had told Robert that 2 men were wearing ski masks and did the shooting.
Okay.
So her story is changing.
Yeah.
It was a 1 man or 2.
Oh, the mask.
Or a ski mask.
Right.
Yeah. There were also some other things that didn't quite line up with Diane's story. Later, in a letter to her defense attorney, Jim Jagger, she claimed that the shooter was a man with whom she'd been flirting and smoking marijuana, which was a different person, a different man. And then there were the forensics. No blood spatter or gunpowder residue on the driver's side car where she said that he had shot her, like she was standing out of the car. There was no gunpowder residue on the outside or the inside of the car. Also, Diane did not disclose that she, in fact, owned a .22 caliber handgun, the same type of gun that was used in the shooting. Both Steve and Robert, Steve her ex-husband and Robert her boyfriend, confirmed that she did, and she bought it while in Arizona while she was still married to Steve. Upon searching her home, police didn't find the gun, but they found unspent cartridges with an extractor markings that matched the murder weapon, like the stippling markings that you would find on the casings, matched the cartridges. So at least those distinct markings. So these cartridges actually match the bullet casings that were found at the scene.
Okay.
And this is 1983, so...
Yeah, that's good work.
Good job. And possibly the most damaging, witnesses said they saw Diane driving only 5 to 7 miles an hour, which contradicted her own claims that she drove at a very high rate of speed to get to the hospital.
Oh my, what an evil woman. She was sitting there driving slow while her kids were bleeding out.
Kids are bleeding out.
Oh my God.
So based on all of this, Diane Downs was arrested February 28, 1984, and was charged with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and criminal assault. Diane, at the time, worked for the U.S. Postal Service, where she delivered mail in Cottage Grove, Oregon, but it's unclear when she started working there but she was working there when she was arrested.
Okay.
So she was a federal employee. Interesting how you pass that, but that's okay. During the trial, prosecutors argued that Diane shot her children to be free of them, to be able to continue her affair with Robert, because apparently Robert had told her before he did not want any children. Who does that sound like? There was somebody else that was like, they didn't want any children, so I'm just going to get rid of my children so we can be together.
Oh, Susan, the lady.
Yes, Susan Smith.
Susan
Smith, the one that she drowned her kids. Yep.
Yeah.
A psychiatrist testifying for the prosecution said that Diane was diagnosed with 1. Narcissistic personality disorder, 2. Histrionic personality disorder, and 3. Antisocial personality disorder, which also meant that Diane fit the profile of a malignant hysteria psychopathy.
Yeah.
At the trial, the psychiatrist said, quote, "She shows no remorse.
Yeah.
She regards her children with no empathy and as objects or possessions. Any feelings she has for them are superficial and only extend to how they are a part of her life." End quote.
Yeah, and that's like the worst. Malignant is like the worst type of mental disorder you can have. Like the worst. Like if you're a malignant narcissist, you are the worst. Like
worst of the worst.
Worst of the worst, yeah.
Somebody like that. Okay. So Diane, she testified at her own trial. She said that she gave conflicting accounts about what happened because she was confused by repeated dreams about what happened, and she was unable to discern her dreams from reality.
Oh, God.
It was one man. It was two men. It was bushy-haired. She also, I don't mention this in the story, but she changed the sketch.
Did she really?
She yeah. So if you go to the Patreon, there's going to be pictures of the 2 different sketches, and then there's another one with a man in a ski mask trying to match all of her stories. Diane's oldest daughter, Christiane, she testified. She was 9 at this time. She recovered from the stroke and had severe rehabilitative therapy to be able to speak again. Christy's testimony was so crucial as an eyewitness, and she described how Diane shot all 3 of them while they were parked on the side of the road, and then she shot herself. You have your own daughter testifying to that. On June 17, 1984, after 36 hours and over 3 days of deliberation, the jury convicted Diane of murdering Cheryl and attempting to murder Christy and Danny. Now, prior to her arrest, Diane became pregnant with a 4th child.
Are you kidding me?
She gave birth to a baby girl who she named Amy Elizabeth, and this was a month after her trial started. 10 days before Diane's sentencing, Amy was seized by the state of Oregon and adopted by Chris and Jackie Babcock, who subsequently named her Rebecca Babcock.
That's a pretty name. They're both pretty names.
Yeah. At sentencing in August of 1984, the judge made it very clear he intended for Diane to never be free again. In a non-unanimous vote, 10-2, the jury convicted her of all charges. So she was sentenced to life plus 50 years, but she was eligible for parole after serving 25 years. Okay. So this would have been in 2009, was her first time that she was up for parole.
Okay.
Now, while incarcerated at the Oregon Women's Correctional Center in Salem, on July 11, 1987, Diane escaped from prison. She scaled an 18-foot razor wire fence and was on the run for 10 days, with the manhunt stretching over 14 states.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The prison in Salem was only 66 miles from where her 2 surviving children were living, and prosecutors feared that she would try to contact Christiane and Danny. After she was recaptured, she was sentenced to an additional 5 years and then transferred to the New Jersey Department of Corrections Clinton Correctional Facility for Women. In 1989, Diane was busy. She published a book called Diane Downs' Best Kept Secrets, as a first-hand chilling account of how she and her children were gunned down and how she finds herself victimized by the legal system.
Oh my gosh. She was a guest on Oprah.
She was, yep.
Unbelievable. Yeah. What? And you could see it in her face.
Yep.
Evil.
In the book, she reveals alleged misconduct by arresting authorities and gives detailed accounts from court transcripts to substantiate her claim of innocence. She tells about her escape from prison and her recapture following a nationwide manhunt.
I'm sure everybody that she claims victimized her did not.
No.
I'm sure they were very professional, but this is what they do, these people. They just try to destroy your character. So her parents are probably upstanding citizens. Unfortunately, this is their daughter.
Well, there's a couple pictures, and actually her mother defended her.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. There's a couple pictures from newspaper clippings that I saw where standing right there side by side. Her mom also did testify at trial.
Okay.
So Diane's first parole hearing, this took place December 9th, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
In a statement, she reaffirmed her innocence, saying that, quote, "Over the years, I have told you and the rest of the world that a man shot me and my children. I have never changed my story," end quote.
She's committed. She's committed to this lie.
As a contention to Diane's statements, the Lane County District Attorney said that, quote, "Downs continues to fail to demonstrate any honest insight into her criminal behavior. Even after her conviction, she continues to fabricate new versions of events."
Yeah.
And he also wrote, quote, "She alternately refers to her assailants as bushy-haired stranger, two men wearing ski masks, drug dealers, or corrupt law enforcement officials," end quote. So the parole board, between the interviews and the deliberation, took about 3.5 hours. Diane was denied parole. Additional parole hearings occurred in 2010, 2020, and 2025, which also resulted in denied.
Good.
In the latest hearing that was last month, December 2025, a representative from the board said that it found that Downs, quote, "has a mental or emotional disturbance, deficiency, condition, or disorder predisposing her to the commission of any crime to a degree rendering her a danger to the health or safety of others. Therefore, the condition which made her dangerous is not in remission, and she does continue to remain a danger," and quote.
Mm-hmm.
Her next hearing is scheduled for 2031, when she will be 76 years old. So here's her appeal. In 2020, the U.S. Supreme Court reversed the practice of imprisonment with a non-unanimous jury verdict following the case of Ramos v. Louisiana, where a man was also convicted by ununanimous vote of 10-2. Mm-hmm. When this reversal came out, Diane petitioned the courts. Based on the Sixth Amendment, she claims that she has a legal right to have the attempted murder and the assault counts reversed in her case. In her petition, she wrote, quote, "It's long been held the government is required to prove its case against the accused beyond a reasonable doubt, and the state failed to prove its case to 2 jurors on 4 of the 5 charges against her." End quote. I don't know. I think they did. So after Diane's arrest, Christiane and Danny went to live with lead prosecutor Fred Hugi and his wife Joanne, who adopted them in 1986. Both Christy and Danny grew up in a very happy home with the Hugis, and apparently she tried to get them back. Steve also had gotten some kind of like a year of prison sentence for aiding Diane in order to be able to have visitation with her kids, which was continuously denied while she was awaiting trial.
Wow.
And after she was convicted. So today, Christiane, she still suffers from speech disability. However, she appears to have led a successful life.
Good.
She graduated from the University of Oregon. She got married. She has a son and a daughter, and the daughter she named Cheryl in honor of her late sister.
Oh.
Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome. God bless her.
Now, Danny, he's chosen to remain out of the public eye. Reportedly a computer whiz. He's still partially paralyzed from the bullet in his back, but he is living a happy and normal life.
Okay, good.
And Rebecca Babcock, the baby girl that Diane gave birth to a month after her trial started, Rebecca wrote to Diane in her younger years, and she said today that she regretted making that contact. She was on the Oprah Winfrey Show as well, and on ABC's 2020, where she talked about her biological mom, Diane, and regarded her as a monster.
Yeah.
In 2020, Rebecca was the subject of the Happy Face podcast in season 2, which portrayed her efforts to find her biological father. And I couldn't find anything out there, like who the biological father of Rebecca is.
Does Diane not know?
I'm sure she knows.
But she's not going to give that information.
It's a control thing.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, other publicity of this case includes a book called Small Sacrifices, written by Anne Rule in 1987, which detailed Diane's life and murder trial with accounts recalled by friends, acquaintances, neighbors, and Diane's daughter, Christy, who often questioned her method of parenting. As a made-for-TV movie, also called Small Sacrifices, this starred Farrah Fawcett as Diane Downs. This aired on ABC in 1989.
That's right.
And that air, the demons. What do you think? She got some demons?
She's got lots of demons. Oh my God. Anne Rule, in the documentary I watched years ago, she did an interview, Anne Rule.
Yeah.
I remember her in that. I totally forgot about Small Sacrifices. Yeah, that's a crazy story. She is You know what? She's exactly where she needs to be. And she probably enjoys it too. I bet she's got like a jail bitch. You know, like she's one of those.
I don't know. I mean, is anybody who kills their own children or anybody who kills children in general, typically, I think they have much power.
You think? But she's crazy enough that I can't see her being submissive to anybody. She, like, when you see her face. Yeah. There's something there that during the documentary, like they hinted that she liked the lights on her. She was totally nutty. We're talking about the death of your child, and she's just like, oh, point the camera. My lipstick look good. Like
in a lot of her pictures, she's smiling.
Yeah,
like in the newspaper clippings, and so she even went to do a reconstruction of where her car was, where it was on the road, and in a sling because her left arm was shot. And she's like smiling the whole time, going, "This is where I was sitting. This is where this. And this is where that." It's crazy.
And it's messed up. They also, like, I'm happy that Oprah had her daughter on.
Yeah.
Because with all this going on, and to give her a platform to talk about, like, it was in bad taste. So I'm glad that Oprah made it right by having her daughter on. No. So thank you for doing that. That's a crazy case.
Well, thank you, Chrissy. Thank you,
Chrissy,
requesting this diabolical demon of a story.
Seriously.
It's crazy.
Oh, my God.
But let us know, chatters, what else you would like to hear. You can always contact us on our website, send us an email.
Yes.
Happy to do a story for you.
Yes. All right. Well, we wouldn't dream of leaving you hanging. For more chilling details and twists in this case and many others, check out After That Crime Chat, only available on our Patreon.
And I got lots of newspaper clippings.
Do you?
That I snatched from newspapers.com.
She was saying.
Yeah. A lot of stuff, a lot of pictures. There's pictures of all the children, except wasn't able to find any more modern, kind of up-to-date pictures of Danny or Christine. Understandably so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anything to do with that.
No, neither would I. I just totally move on. I mean, I can understand her wanting to find her biological father, but, she's lucky she has the parents that she did, and they committed for her, and they protected her from, I mean, that's really good. So, anyway, if you want more chilling content and behind-the-scenes chaos, become a VIP chatter to our Patreon. You'll unlock bonus episodes, bloopers, exclusive sneak peeks, and even free merch. And yes, we've got some criminal goodies in the works.
Yes.
So support the show, fuel your obsession with the weird and the wicked, and join the Crime Chat chatter crew in style.
Be sure to check out our next episode, Natalie's story.
I think I know what I'm doing.
What?
I think I do. I know. I feel prepared. Like, it's crazy. Normally, I like just, enjoy kind of like surprising myself with a story, but I think I know what I'm doing.
Yay!
I'll let you know. But you don't want to miss it.
We'll see you at the next Crime Chat.
Bye.